Verdict time. Oh my goodness, this is so exciting, y'all. So yesterday, the jury reached a verdict on counts 2, 3, 4, 5, and not on one. One was the RICO charge. I find it a bit confusing that they were not very obviously found guilty on the RICO, because in my opinion, if you found him guilty on the other 3 or the other 4, he's guilty on the RICO. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Okay. Woo! I'm still having my my morning Love Island recap with Belinda, y'all. She said, "Oh, the verdict's out." Oh shit! Good thing I put my makeup on so early. This is thrilling. Okay, so what's gonna have to happen is the jury's gonna come out. They're gonna read their verdict. Then they're gonna confirm their verdict. Probably when the verdict is read, at least 1, 2, 3 reporters is gonna come running from the 20th floor down and out to deliver it to us. So it is going to take a minute to get that verdict. It is. I'm going to make a poll. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. So excited. All right. Y'all answer my poll, please. I want to know how everyone feels. Okay, so let me tell you how I feel as we wait for the verdict to come through. Hi, Dominique. Please do breathe, honey. Please don't nobody die behind Diddy, okay? Deep breaths, everyone. I know this is so exciting. Good God. Oh my God. I didn't expect it at 10:10 their time, but here we are. Okay, so yesterday afternoon, the jury came back at like 4:30 p.m. and they said, we have a verdict on 2, 3, 4, 5, but no verdict on RICO, charge 1. And so the judge said, well, y'all are going to have to deliberate more. Based off my humble opinion on my observations in these situations, firstly, it was 62-page charging document, okay? It only took the jury 13 hours to go through the 62-page charging document. And by the end of like 12 hours or 11 and a half, they already had a conclusion on the majority. I believe those stay guilty. I believe 2, 3, 4, and 5 are guilty. What I don't understand is how, if you're a juror, if you said, okay, guilty on 2, 3, 4, and 5, where's the RICO question? And the reason I say that, if you watch my channel, if you guys have been here, if you watch my video on RICO, all you have to do is show more likely than not on 2 things to prove RICO. So if they, I've been thinking about this quite a bit, y'all. And I don't understand how you don't automatically have RICO if you have 2, 3, 4, and 5. So is it a not guilty on 2, 3, 4, and 5? I don't think it is. I just think the state proved their case beyond a reasonable doubt. If you watch this channel, you know I'm pretty pro-defense, pretty anti-government, right? So you know I tend to lean towards the defense. But here, A, there was no defense. And B, I think the state proved their case, the government proved their case. No face is guilty on 2, 3, or maybe 4. I think it's guilty on all those. I really do think that it is guilty. That's what I think. Okay. I think that's what we're looking at. All right, we got Law and Crime. I've got it running in the background. Mm-hmm. Okay, No Face says, I don't think they gave him both of the S traffic. Okay, I think you might actually have a point there. I do believe that Cassie, especially since they asked for her transcript, she was 19. He was her boss. He groomed her. So I think the S trafficking on Cassie, I will be very surprised if that's not a guilty. Robin Black Paul, what do you mean what case? We're talking about the Diddy criminal case right now. So, the case. I feel like, so Diddy is the music mogul that's gone down. Who's going to be, we had Weinstein, we've had Bill Cosby would have been television. Weinstein was movies. Now we have Diddy in music. So we're going to have someone in, there's going to be government and religion are going to come down next, I think. There's my esthetician. I love her. If you're in the DFW area, you want to see Cynthia. She keeps me looking young. She's very, very Bible religious. Very Bible religious. And so her and I were talking about this, and she said there's something about like the 7 mountains or something. Oh, the Mann Act, where you pay for people to travel for SEX. Yeah, he's guilty on that one. Like, I can't see how that would, like, that one was established with the second witness. So, hold on. 7 mountains. No, this wasn't it. She told me about, so there's like 7, I don't know. So anyhow, they were entertainment, music, politics, blah, 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 blah. Hey, Enye, I haven't seen you in a hot minute, girl. Welcome. Welcome, y'all. Verdict time. Verdict time. On Friday, y'all, I will not be live streaming. I will be sleeping. I celebrate the birth of America by sleeping. The weeks leading up to the 4th of July are the busiest weeks of my year, every year. So I will be asleep on Friday morning. But we got each other today. So that feels really good. I'm happy to see you all today. We're just waiting for a reporter to come running out. Oh, I guess I could. Let me see if I can open. I'll put it on my phone. Let's see what Inner City Press says, because he's actually there. I was trying to follow Inner City Press yesterday. It was super hard. Oh, hey, Vicky. Okay. Vicky, I am so glad you bring this up. Remember how I just said this is like my busiest few weeks? So like as a part of just this insanity that is my career during this time, I am not able to like keep track of astrology, right? Like I'm not able to go, okay, this is here and it's Jupiter retrograde or whatever. So please, in the comments, tell me all of it. Please give me the update on where we are today, because your girl fell off. I cannot explain any of the craziness that's going on, but I can tell you it is a lot of craziness. So if you have been keeping up on it, Vicky, go ahead and share your chat. Please let us know. Let us know. Verdict is reached. Okay. Right now, the judge asked the deputy to bring back the jury. The 8 lawyers are standing. We received your note. Have you reached a verdict? We have. Is it unanimous? It is. Please provide it to the deputy. All right. So now we're just waiting for them to say it out loud and for Inner City Press to say what they say. And then we can tell what the verdict is. I really don't use Twitter much. So I don't know exactly like how to follow this. What time is it there? Okay, so it's going to be 10/18. I'm so glad this is over. This trial has been so icky. Just, ugh. Okay. Count 1, not guilty. Sex trafficking of Cassandra, not guilty. Transportation for prostitution, guilty. Y'all, y'all, y'all. Not guilty on RICO, not guilty on sex trafficking, guilty of transportation for prostitution. We knew that. Where's the rest? Oh my God. Unbelievable. Bro. You guys, what the fudgesicles? So far we have count 1, not guilty. Sex trafficking of Cassandra, not guilty. Transportation for prostitution, guilty. We're just waiting on those last few charges to be written. What? What? Okay, here we go. Not guilty of sex trafficking, Jane, and guilty of transportation for prostitution. You heard it here first, y'all. You heard it here first. Well, if you're on Inner City Press, you saw it there first. But I'm reading it out loud from Inner City Press to you first, y'all. Unanimous verdict. Not guilty of RICO. Not guilty of sex trafficking, Cassie. Guilty of transportation for prostitution. Not guilty of sex trafficking, Jane. And guilty of transportation for prostitution of Jane. Wow. Okay, so I was thinking about this morning. I was like, what if they find him not guilty on some of this? A lot of this stuff, a lot of these activities that we heard about in this case happened in Florida. If y'all know anything about Florida, they are trigger happy. Okay, they love to prosecute people. They love to put people in jail. They love to have trials. And I kind of think, because this was the result, that Florida, now I was thinking if he got guilty on all these, Florida wouldn't care because he's going to be in jail for the rest of his life. But this is only on 3. So Florida might pick up RICO. They have RICO there. And they might pick up the RICO. Florida might pick up some of these charges. I don't think California will pick up any charges because I think all of those were done, before the statute of limitations. New York might pick up the charges, the actual state. And you know why that's not double jeopardy? Because it was the federal government who accused him. So the states can now. Okay, No Face says he'll be home by the end of the year having a Christmas freak off. Yeah. I'm in shock. I really thought that the government had actually proved their case in this case. But it's hard to say that because I only spent 1 day in the courtroom, and on that day they did not prove their case. But from what I heard, the secondhand information from reporters and all that, it really seemed they had proved their case. So let me go through it again. We have not guilty of RICO. We have not guilty of S trafficking, Cassie. We guilty of transportation for prostitution. Not guilty of S trafficking, Jane, and guilty for transportation for prostitution of Jane. Now that aligns with what I felt about Jane. I did feel that Jane was a paid prostitute. I did feel she was like a full-time, literally a full-time hoe. Okay. And I did feel like part of her job, was to do the freak offs. That is what I gathered on the Jane. So I understand that. What I don't understand is the Cassie. What I don't understand the Cassie. I know Cassie stayed, but she was 19, y'all. Then 2021, she was a baby. She's a baby. If I found out some man had done this to my baby girl, I'd be the one on trial. Okay, do you understand? Because his head would be bashed in. You understand? I'd be the one on trial. The Cassie. Wow. Wow. But I guess I'm done with work for the day. Don't forget, we got OG Cadillac gear, y'all. Oh, Lord. I can't. How you put on no defense and unbelievable. I guess that's what star power gives you, y'all. That contract you signed with Satan, that's some of the protections you get right there. Some of the protections you sign that agreement with Satan. You give him your soul, he gives you money, and then he gives you not guilty verdicts. Wow. And they were decisive about that too. I thought because of their decisiveness, that was going to be guilty, but oh, thank you, Super Fuzz. Hey, Nene, welcome. I thought for sure it was guilty. Oh, God. No, he's not guilty on the RICO. He's only guilty on the prostitution charges, which I'm sure will send him home by the end of today. Like that just prostitution. Now, I will say this. Y'all know I'm not a fan of the government. Y'all know I really hate RICO. Hopefully, this will help the government think twice before they just flippantly use RICO to try to take down sex criminals or whatever kind of criminal you are. Hopefully, this serves as a lesson to the government that you can't just willy-nilly use RICO. Now, it won't send that lesson to state governments. Trust me, they won't pay attention. So could I see Florida bringing these charges? Yes. Could I see New York bringing these charges? Probably not. Florida, yes, they love to charge people. If I was Diddy, I would never return to Florida. Period. I'd have someone go pick up all the Astroglide, move it to my, I don't know, I get a house in Tennessee on a lake where nobody could see me. Okay, like move it there. All right, guys, what do we want to talk about? What else is there? Okay, let's go back. Vicky says, astrologically, this is a time of unveiling the hidden, dismantling, and ultimately rebuilding. The biggest, most overarching energies affecting the collective is when Pluto moves into Aquarius. Pluto's job is to uncover all things that do not serve all. Pluto's not even a planet anymore. Like, Pluto needs to mind its own business right now. Pluto, Lauren needs a break, okay? I need a break. So just chill. Not even a planet anymore, okay? Some fucking rock. Now I'm mad at Pluto, guys. Mad at the jury. Mad at Pluto. Every single one of those jurors is going home right now and taking the 3-day weekend to write a book, right? Like every single one of them. Maybe they're talking in a recorder. I don't know. Every single one is documenting their book. I wonder how Comey's feeling right now. Like, I forgot her name, if it's Susan or what, but the other thing is RICO is so freaking easy to chart, like prove, because you don't actually have to do it beyond a reasonable doubt. I'm confused. Anyone have anything to say? Get in the chat, y'all. Anyone have anything to say, or else I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go cry alone. Get in this chat, or I'm going to cry. Get in the chat. Don't make me cry in public. I'm going to read it one more time too, just because maybe I read it out loud. In the matter of Combs versus U.S. versus Combs, count 1, not guilty. Count 2, sex trafficking of Cassie, not guilty. Count 3, transportation for prostitution, guilty. Count 4, sex trafficking of Jane, not guilty. Count 5, transportation for prostitution of Jane, guilty. So that's where we are. All he did was flew hoes around. What I hate about that is that just like reinforces this bad behavior. It just says, oh, okay, no problem. Oh, yeah, you could treat women like meat. Yeah, no, it's totally okay. Oh, yeah, you can use your power and money to distort the truth. We're cool with that. I don't like that. It doesn't sit right with me. I think No Face, part of the reason they failed here is because they didn't actually bring forward co-conspirators. So it's kind of hard to show RICO enterprise if you don't actually have an enterprise. Right? Like the enterprise is kind of at the core of the issue. And so without actually having KK come or having those bodyguards, I think that loses it. One thing I want to say, I never, ever want to see that man's ugly face again. He is so ugly. I do not want to see. I don't want to see it again. I don't ever. I hope he hides in shame. I know he won't, because I think he's a sick, narcissistic, whatever. But don't have him come up on my screen, okay? Yuck. All right, guys, that's the result. There we are. Unless you have something you want to talk about in the chat. I'm going to do my job. Oh, hey, Brownie. I hope he goes away. Well, he's not going to go away. No Face, there would be no reason for Trump to pardon him now. The prostitution charges are not that big of a deal. There's nothing to pardon. Like, he's going to go home, so it doesn't. If I was, is it Maureen Comey? Whatever her name is. If I was Comey and this prosecution team, I would be at home crying right now. I would literally go straight home. I'd take the rest of the day off. In fact, I'd be like, it's the 2nd, I'm taking the 3rd off. I'll see y'all on the 7th. When I came to my 7th, my eyes would still be puffy, y'all. Yeah, No Face, everyone in America is allowed to own guns unless you're a felon. He is not a felon. He's gotten out of all of the crimes. Okay? So he can have guns. I can have guns. I can have a stockpile of guns. You, if you're not a felon, can have a stockpile of guns. Like in Texas, we do have stockpile. Like a lot of homes have. I have a friend who has like 200 guns. A girlfriend. They're her guns. Like we Texans, we love our guns. So no, you can have guns. You can have as much Astroglide as you want. You can have as much baby oil as you want. Okay, those are not illegal. What is illegal is trafficking people. What is illegal is hiring hoes. Thank you, Brownie. Now y'all can buy these shirts in my merch section. So the laws he broke, they're not even like a big deal. Like people get caught with prostitutes all the time. Like it's nothing. Okay. If he was like a lawyer, it wouldn't even take away his license. It wouldn't even like tarnish his record, right? So like, yep, that's where we're at. All right, thanks for joining me, y'all. You heard it here first. I will see you in the coming days.